In news from the House of Assembly, some members of Parliament last week brought up the ongoing saga of former city market workers not receiving their pension. The disgruntled group says some $4 million is owed to them. Member for Long Island, Loretta Butler Turner, told House members that she is very concerned about the possibility of the former owners of city markets getting a bailout by the government through the purchase of the company's former headquarters on the East-West Highway.
That there's a move afoot, Mr. Speaker, that the pension funds for City Market is tied up in the building, which would have been the head offices on East-West Highway. They're saying that that is where the pension funds are tied up. If that is in fact the case, Mr. Speaker, that may in fact, if that is the case, Mr. Speaker, I would like to suggest, Mr. Speaker, because I understand that there's a move afoot that NIB might be purchasing that building. Now, Mr. Speaker, I cannot imagine for the life of me what type of investment that would be for NIB as long as that building has been sitting there dormant. Because if that was a viable investment, that building would have been zapped up a long time ago by someone in the business community.
Member for Fort Charlotte, Dr. Andre Rollins, responded that the issue of city markets being in this state lies squarely at the feet of the former Free National Movement administration. Rollins disclosed that he has evidence that the original owners of city markets borrowed some $3 million from the Workers' Pension Fund to purchase equipment, and that money, he alleges, was never repaid. Rollins also claims that they did this reportedly without the permission of pensioners.
I would like the record of this House to reflect. In my possession, I have a forensic audit detailing the particulars in relation to the pension fund that the member for Long Island seems so informed of, which obviously she is not. And in 2008, Mr. Speaker, when the opposition, supposedly led by the man who just walked out of the room, in 2008, the pension fund, because there was no legislation to protect pension funds in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, which is reason why this government should be heralded and credited for the actions being undertaken today. In 2008, because of a conflict between the board of directors and the trustees, $3 million was taken out of that pension fund because the then owners, which might I say, the then owners were not the people that they are so vilifying today. The Bahamians who tried to bail out a dying fund that was a pillar of this Bahamian economy, he and his family were not the owners of it then. It was the company Neil and Massey with Anwar Sunderji, and I'm confident I can call his name because I have this information before me. Anwar Sunderji was head of the committee that granted the okay for $3 million to be transferred from the pension fund to purchase equipment needed by the food store without the okay and clearance of those who were pensioners. It is absolutely wrong, and this former administration permitted it to happen.
And in our feature story this Sunday, residents of the Bahamas Children Emergency Hostel, the Elizabeth Estates Home for Children, the Nazareth Center, the Bilney Lane Children's Home, and the Ranfley Home for Children all had lunch and a late Christmas treat thanks to the Sting Junkanoo Group yesterday. Our Julian Gibson tells us more.
For Sting Junkanoo Group, their major concentration is not on Bay Street, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day. Their major concentration is helping the youngsters of this nation.
This thing is all about partying, you know what I mean? And, after New Year's and Christmas, going to Freeport partying, so, we come back here and we like to pass that stuff on to these kids, man. We like to see the joy on their faces. And it makes us happy just to be here all day, serve them hamburgers, get them toys and so forth and so on. So it's something like it's a privilege for us to come out every year and do this.
Although we are the best group when it comes to music and dance, we still are humble enough to say Valley Roots and all of you. You're still a part of Junkanoo, but you have to take a long time before you catch us up.
They are always grateful, yes, for the activities, the food, the gifts. and everything.
For the last 12 years, Bahama Dreams has also been a part of this special event. And once again, they are on board.
The number of toys and all the gifts I see here truly speaks of a company that is showing the kind of support and love for the young people of our nation.
Now, for members of Sting Jungle Group, they are simply thankful for corporate Bahamas for stepping on board and making this day a smashing success.
But as you know, these were tough economic times, and we weren't able to have as much funding as we did in previous years. So with the help of Bahama Dream, Mrs. Allison Maynard, Thompson Trading, and I guess Colina, they contributed the shirts for this event. They made a contribution for the shirts. So I want to thank those persons.
This is a group of Bahamians that are pulled together, and they are sensitive to what's going on in the community.
Up next with Sting Jungle Group, well, they will head to West and Grand Bahama come March. Reporting for the ZNS News Network, I am Julian Gibson.
And that's a look at this portion of the news, but don't go anywhere. Sports is next with Jonathan Benson.